The technology landscape is changing really fast these days, and that means that the tech companies that have been successful in the past aren't necessarily going to be the ones which shape the future. It's important for these companies to be ready for the new world and indeed to show us that they're ready. Well, a couple of weeks ago, chip giant Intel invited us to its Innovations Day to take a sneak peek at what it thinks will be tomorrow's most significant computing innovations. Intel, the name that's been the driving force behind hundreds of innovations over the past 40 years. The chipmaker has dominated the desktop, but so far it's failed to take charge of the new, more mobile age that we're living in now. No surprise then that this is where its focus now falls. So, when it started travelling the world with an expo of its own, boldly entitled Future Showcase, we decided to ask the editors of two of the biggest titles in technology what they thought. Luke Peters has spent 3 years at the top of award-winning tech title T3 magazine.
I'm looking for something that makes people go, wow, I want that in my life. What I'm interested in is tech that can make life better.
Will Findlater is the man in charge of the UK's top-selling tech mag, Stuff, and he's not easily impressed.
Everyone thinks they have an idea of what the future looks like. What you need is the tech to make it happen.
First up, controlling what happens on the screen with your fingers using 3D gesture control. The idea was first popularised by the Xbox's Kinect system for gaming, but Intel's system is more accurate, using pulses of infrared light to measure out a 3D space directly in front of it. It can recognise your face, follow each of your 10 fingers, and even copy your expressions. Intel calls it perceptual computing. Here, the monkey is able to mimic the user. But is this mimicry just gimmickry, or something we may actually find useful?
Security-wise, this would be a great way of logging into a computer. If you're in a family, it can recognise different faces and load up profiles. But where I really see this technology having some impact is with smartphones and tablets.
This is very much something of the future. 3D interfaces could change certain areas of our lives in quite profound ways, certainly in gaming, where you have fingertip control of really detailed environments, far beyond what you can do in Kinect. Your avatar could accurately represent your emotions to someone on the other side of the world.
Next up, mirror, mirror on the wall, will this technology rule them all? Intel's been working on its own magic mirror. Now here, you either have your body scanned by a 3D camera for the best results, or you manually add your vital statistics so the system can create your avatar. Then you choose some clothes to try on, and using your tablet or PC's camera, your avatar moves just as you do, giving an idea of what you'd look like in them. Amazon and several other retailers are trialling the system. So, after years of being promised this type of tech, is it about to go mainstream?
I think the big problem here is the fluctuation of people's weight. And if a store has got your credentials of a certain size and the clothes arrive and possibly you've lost or put on a bit of weight, they're not going to fit and your experience isn't going to be great. So I think that the technology has a lot to think about before it actually starts implementing that in people's houses.
There are so many hurdles to this technology taking off. For one, you need a 3D scanner in your home or in the shop, every shop that it's in. Okay, that's an emerging technology, but it's not everywhere and it's costly. Also, it's not going to work on kids. They grow. You need a different measurement every time, and the measurement has to be very accurate to make it work.
Predicting the next trend can be as difficult as predicting where raindrops might fall. But that's also something Intel's working on, to help car headlamps light up the road and not the rain. Scanners pick out drops and then predict where they'll be milliseconds later. That's enough time to switch the mirrors that bounce multiple tiny beams of light on and off so that the light misses the droplets and travels further to illuminate the road ahead. It's lab work at the moment, but the results, shown here on the right, do seem effective.
It sounds like it needs an incredible amount of processing power to actually make this work. And I'd be really interested to see how the automotive companies built it into their cars and how much it would cost. What I want to know, though, is how does it adapt with things that it can't legislate for, such as splash from other cars on a motorway.
This is only a prototype. What I want to know is exactly how it works. There are already systems using home cinema projectors called DLP that seem to use a similar technology. If that's what they're using here, it's an incredibly clever use of the technology that already exists.
These are just a few of the more interesting technologies that Intel showed off. It's clear it wants to move into the more mobile tech that we use today, as well as continue to dominate desktops. But the success of the technologies it's touting as tomorrow's tech are perhaps more important for Intel's own future than they might be for ours. American television. Love it or hate it, you can't deny it has churned out some really successful series over the years. The Simpsons, The West Wing, Battlestar Galactica, Grey's Anatomy, Keeping Up with the Kardashians, watched by masses, but made by just a few. Well, if you've ever fancied going backstage with some of them, Kate Russell has a feast for you now in Webscape.
TV fans, settle back into the sofa. I have a feeling you're going to like this. From American Dad to Will and Grace, the most successful series of all time are exploded in glorious, intricately woven data visualization at Universaries, a reference site dedicated to all the creators and producers of these blockbuster TV shows. The site was built mainly because the developers wanted to play with HTML5, which is the latest language of the web. And it's a brilliant example of what's possible when you think imaginatively about how to explore information and data. Geeky attraction aside though, TV buffs are going to get lost inside this archive for hours. Follow the wireframe web of connections that link these movers and shakers, who command budgets $50 million a season and more. The site currently features the work of 150 key industry figures and aims to grow as it follows the TV industry's expansion. If you're visiting the UK this summer and don't want to spend your days sitting in traffic jams, why not just ditch the wheels and walk it? This is a helpful resource for traversing Britain's cities on foot instead of by car or train. Walkit.com. Get directions from A to B, or if you just want to go for a walk for the sheer fun of it, then the site has a rather nice circular route feature that allows you to plan a stomping ground that leaves you back where you started. It's great for planning a 20-minute stroll or a more ambitious 4-hour hike to take in the sights of the city. It'll even tell you how many calories or CO2 you're burning, or not, and suggest walks around a theme in the area you're staying, making it the perfect holiday companion. There are around 50 cities covered now, with paid-for apps on Apple and Android for simple navigation. Call BBC Click.
Calling BBC Click.
Voice-controlled smartphone assistants are becoming more and more popular, and one that is gaining ground in the market right now is Maluba, available free for Android and Windows Phone 7.5 and 8. The makers of this app call it a do engine, as in you tell it what you want it to do and it gets it done. And they're not afraid of comparing themselves to Siri either, and there's a rather amusing commercial on their website to prove it.
Taxi.
I found 9 stores close to you to purchase a maxi pad.
This app is simple with effective voice recognition, making everyday tasks really easy. What's the weather going to be like tonight? It certainly fills the role of smartphone assistant on these non-Apple platforms admirably. Which probably won't matter to those of you with an iPhone, as it's not available for your handset anyway. How much is your mood influenced by your environment? That's the question researchers at Cambridge University hope to answer with Emotion Sense, an Android app that collects data about where you are, how noisy it is, and who you're talking to help you track and explore what makes you
Thank you, Kate. And if you missed any of those links, you'll find them all at our website, bbc.co.uk/click, which, let's be honest, is the only link you really need. And if you'd like to get in touch with us, you can via email, Google+, Twitter and Facebook, and all those details are up at our website too. But that is it for now. Thank you very much for watching, and we will see you next time.